You know, if you have sound now, you should be able to hear me. Good crafternoon to all of you. And once you verify my sound is good, we will dive right in and get going. So what a scramble today. All right, so we're going to make our newest fun fold card for Crafternoon. This is a class that I do every month. So customers who placed a qualifying order last month got a packet in the mail to make this card along with me. Yeah, you can hear me now. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties. So many of you are going to be making this card along with me. Now my team members, my direct team members, got a packet to make one of the alternates, and we actually made that at our virtual team meeting on Thursday night. So they have already seen this and made one of the versions, and then the extended members of my team got the measurements, and so they could cut their own packet and make this along with me. If you would like to create with me next month for Crafternoon, just place a $50 order at my online store in December, and in January I'll send you a packet so you can make our next Fun Fold card. They're all awesome, highly recommend, so give it a try. And are we ready? I think we're ready. Let's dive right in. Do I even have a packet? Oh, golly. Yeah, I see a couple over there. All right, let's go ahead. And I'm going to start by showing you the card. So I have designed a fun fold card, and then I made four different alternate versions of that card. Now there are a total 5 versions, but many of the versions I tried with, well, at least 2 of them I did with multiple papers, so that if you make a lot of cards, or if you are a demonstrator and you do classes or Stamp-A-Stacks, these will help you get the most out of your pack of designer paper because you can use multiple patterns. So let's dive right in. I'm going to go to my camera, and I need to calm down a little bit. It's been a little bit of a scramble. I will be posting a tutorial for these cards after the fact. It's actually done, and literally I needed 5 more minutes to get it loaded up, but I ran out of time, so it will be coming. So let me show you the newest Fun Fold card. So this month's, the December Crafternoon Fun Fold is a floating card. It is a pop-up. It is a vertical version of the Bandstand card that we did last month. So last month we did the Bandstand cards that were horizontal, and they had a die cut element that met the 2 bands. This one, we're using a piece of window sheet so that the element in the center of the card appears to float. And because this is, thank you, Arlene. Arlene said, good job on getting that tutorial done. Yes, I ran out of time before I could upload it. So yeah, super fun card. Now again, this one is, because it's the vertical version, it's almost like a tower. It is super impressive. It's a real wow when people put this on display. Now, of course, like all of my Fun Fold cards, it smooshes flat and fits in a standard envelope. But I just love that floating element, and it was so fun to make these. Now on the back, we have our sentiment and some more little fun paper to just spice it up. Now, I was inspired to make these Bandstand cards based on a tutorial from Iced Images for a half hexagonal pop-up card, I think is what it was called. I have the link to that video in my in last month's Crafternoon, where we did the horizontal version, and I will put it in the link for this video too. I think she did some, I know she did some that had window sheets in them as well, and that's kind of what inspired me. And I thought, let's try a vertical version so that we get that that tall, elegant look. All right, and then it's super fun because you can make things float. It is a wow, and what's really cool about it is you don't have to use if this is a little too flashy for your taste, you don't have to use the gold side of the paper. You can flip the paper over and do the card with the other side and get maybe a little more traditional look. Both are super cool and awesome. So this is the one that we're going to be making in today's video. And it does not have to be a Valentine card. As we know, hearts can mean a lot of things. So this would make a beautiful anniversary card. It would make a beautiful wedding card. And make a beautiful, I just want to let you know that you're loved. I love you. Somebody loves you and they're thinking of you. So that's why I did multiple versions of the sentiment on the back. Okay. So do you guys want to see? Oh, wait, there's one more with these same papers. I think I used 5 of the papers. There's 6 designs in this pack. I think I used all but one on these cards. They all looked fantastic. Like really, you can just go to town. If you have a preference on the pink, or depends who you're sending it to does, you know, you've got lots of options. So we have our lots of versions, but I have other versions. Let's take a look at those. We'll set these aside. Let me show you the one that my team members made. Now this is a sneak peek of new product. I gotta dig them all out. Oh gosh, we did a lot. We did a bunch of versions, didn't we guys? Okay, so they made the beautiful butterfly. Now this is a bundle and a suite actually that's going to be available in the upcoming mini catalog for Stampin' Up. So customers can purchase these items on January 1st. With the exception of this paper, because the paper you can't purchase because it's free. The paper is a free celebration choice. It's called Bloom Impressions, and you get lots of colors. Where's the other one? Oh, here's another color. Let's bring that in. Now you might notice that I've done the butterflies a little bit differently on the different cards. So this one, I did a 3D butterfly by stacking them on top of each other and adding that little dimensional in there. It's kind of a little fun pop-up element, and literally this is a pop-up card, so why not go for that 3D element? But this is also fun where you spread the butterflies out and they're flying about the card, right? So I just love that floating element of this card, and I love how when you look down from the top, it's got that that great shape and dimension to it. And the back of these, we used, this one I didn't even put a greeting on yet, because, you know, fill in the blank, right? But we used that same beautiful butterflies stamp set. These two use another free celebration product called a purple adhesive backed sequins. That'll be free with a $60 order, and the paper is free with a $60 order. This one I actually do use the iridescent pearls. Again, my team members made these, and for their Christmas gift from me, they all got a pack of the iridescent pearls, so they could use that on there, but I also sent them the sequins if they preferred this way. Sorry, my stomach's growling. I just realized, oh, I forgot to eat lunch. I've been so busy making cards and doing tutorials and doing all the things. Now, again, this is my monthly class. I do choose to do this as a public video. I know that's a little bit unusual, but that's the way that I choose to do it, is to share these. So I'm going to be sharing some of the dimensions today. The rest of the stuff is all going to be in the tutorial that will be available for purchase within a half hour of when this video ends. Because it's done. The blog post will be coming out later tomorrow. Now this one is gorgeous. What a beautiful anniversary card. I often get requests from my viewers for anniversary card ideas. They like to send anniversary cards to friends who are having special anniversaries, their children who are having anniversaries, they're using for their own anniversaries, all the things. This gorgeous card is using another free celebration bundle. This one is called Heart Shaped, and it is free with a $120 purchase because it comes with a stamp set and dies. You get both, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I've cut the heart here from gold. I've got all the details in the tutorial, and then on the back of this one, again, I did decide to go with an anniversary sentiment, and this happy anniversary is from the Layers of Beauty stamp set. So that one is the heart-shaped card. And then, oh, I love this one. I can't show, which one should I show next? Okay, let's show this one. This one is another stunner. This is also from the upcoming mini catalog. This is a suite of products called Delightful Wishes. And I love that it starts with D because it reminds me of daffodils. There are no daffodils in this paper, but because it's yellow, that's what it makes me think of. And it's just happy, bright colors. and that has the die cut words in there. And so words and labels are perfect element to have float on the front of your card to get that, that dimension. And then this flower and leaf were actually die cut from the vellum that comes as part of the suite. The suite has a designer paper and a vellum, and the dies match the vellum. And then I have an antique pearl in there, which is part of another suite in that mini catalog. It's part of the one with the bunnies. And on the back here, we just have fresh best wishes. And this one, I just decided to add a little bit of that designer paper to the back side, just to bring some of the flowers from the front to the back, because I love flowers. So that's that one. And then the last alternate version to show you is this little cutie pie. This is a combination of a new bundle called Terrific Toadstools. Can you see it hanging out on the front there? And because this was a pop-up card, I had to use popping up to say hi, right? Because they pull out of the envelope like that, and then they pop it up to display, and it actually kind of pops up on its own. So don't worry about them not figuring that out, because it'll just pop right up on its own. So this is the Terrific Toadstools bundle. And I used a punch, actually. The Terrific Toadstools is a punch bundle. So it comes with the punch to punch out the stem and the mushroom. And I walk you all through how to make that super simple in the directions. And then I used the, what's it called? Happy Labels Pick-a-Punch from the annual catalog to make that fun little banner there. And then the paper, the designer paper back here, is actually a freebie. That's another celebration freebie. It's called Toadstool Gardens, and that one is free with a $60 order. I love pop-up cards too. They're so fun. So it just was the perfect sentiment for this card. And on the back, just to brighten your day. What a great sentiment, right? This sentiment is from, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm able to, it's a new online exclusive set. It's probably laying somewhere on this messy desk. It's called, oh golly, Sharing, Loving, Crafting. That's the name of it. Let me grab it. This one is one that is available right now. It's really made for stamping on the envelope, stamping on the back of the card. If you sell your cards, it's got the Stampin' Up! Copyright there in 2 different sizes, so you can cover the copyright thing. Happiness Inside is perfect for envelopes, but we use this one. I use this one just to brighten your day, because that matched popping up to say hi, just to brighten your day. Okay, so that is all of the alternate designs for the vertical floating pop-up card. All the instructions are going to be in the tutorial that will be available within a half an hour after this video ends. But would you guys like to learn how to make this card? We're going to make the Hearts of Elegance version of this card with that beautiful Marbled Elegance Designer Series paper. I'm going to assume the answer to that question was yes. I'll slide these over here. Let me grab a packet. Gosh, Susan. I grabbed a packet before we started. Oh, here they are. Found them. Take a sip, everyone. I don't know where the heck my water is, but it's somewhere. So as I mentioned, you can do this in multiple colors. So we'll do it with this. Let's use this one. And I'll set this aside because I might want to show you something real quick here. And I'm going to pull this out accordingly. I'll just grab a couple of these. Okay, so we're going to walk through this together. Now, if you have a packet, you can make it along with me, or you might choose to just watch me make it and then make it on the replay, whichever you're more comfortable with. I would caution you before you put your tear and tape on to watch what I do first, because twice yesterday I put the tear and tape on the wrong side. And I've made this card a lot of times. Oh my gosh, my stomach is growling again, you guys. I had breakfast today, and that was a long time ago. I'll eat after we have our fun here. So we're going to start with our card base here, okay? And I am creasing on the score lines of my card base. Let me give you the sizes for this card base. And I feel like I'm going to explain a little bit on why the size is so weird. So the card base on this one is 4 and an 1/8 inch wide by 5.5 inches long. Hang on, I gotta grab my cheat sheet. I do not want to give you wrong dimensions. Okay, so 4 1/8 by 5.5 inches long. And I'll explain why it's only 4 1/8. This is made with, these are all imperial measurements. This is made with 8.5 by 11 cardstock. But because of this design, you do need to have your card base to be a little bit skinnier than you want your finished card to be. All right, so it is scored at 3/4 of an inch and then 4 5/8 inch. Okay. No, is that right? That's not right. Hang on. Mary, what is it? Mary's got it for me. Hang on. I'm going to highlight Mary's comment. Thank you, Mary. Keeping me on check. This is our wonderful moderator here on YouTube, Mary Nass. It's 4 1/8 by 5.5, scored at 3/4 and 3 3/8 for the card base. Thank you, Mary. Okay, we'll take that down. Now let's do the 2 pop-up bands. These are the parts that pop up. That's what makes the card pop up and stand. Now I should mention that actually all of the cardstock on this, as Mary had in her statement there, it's thick basic white. Why did I use thick basic white instead of standard basic white? Because it's thicker. Well, obviously, Susan. Okay. But because it gives the card more shape and structure. Now I am folding on I'm creasing with my bone folder on all of my score lines, and you'll notice that I did mountain on all of them, okay? And I'm going to repeat that on the second one. You can certainly use the regular basic white, but your card might not have those nice crisp shapes that pop out. It does work, though. I have done it before. If you use one of our color cardstocks, those are thicker and really the same weight as the thick basic white, so it's going to have a great shape if you go that route. Okay. So I have that right there. Hey, Iced Images are joining us. Thank you so much for inspiring me to make this card. I love your designs. And everybody, you should go check out her channel because she has some really great fun folds. All right, so this one, you see I creased and did valley folds on the card base. All right. Now, here's where we go to the tear and tape. Actually, we're going to put our designer paper on and then we'll put on our tear and tape. But again, I'm going to caution you to watch where I put the tear and tape on first before you stick yours on if you're making this card along with me, because twice yesterday I put it on the wrong side. Oh, and I made this card a lot. It's kind of scary, but all right. So we're going to open up. So if you got a packet in the mail, open up your clear envelope. You can leave the little sleeve with the tiny bits in there for now, but just pull out the designer paper. Now also hiding in here is a piece of window plastic, or some people call it acetate. Stampin' Up! Calls it window sheets, so that's what I usually refer to it as. Keep it in there for now because, oh my gosh, when you get that out on your desk, it completely vanishes because it's clear. So I'm going to keep it in there in check. All right, so we're going to look at our paper that's in our pack. And again, your patterns might be slightly different than mine because all these patterns work fantastic. So you can see I've got one long piece here. I've got 2 skinny pieces here and 2 skinny pieces here, but they are not the same sizes. Now again, all of the dimensions for the designer paper is going to be in your tutorial, but I'm giving you all of this information, and I'll give you the size on the window sheet as well, and then you can work out those bits. For the front of the card, these are for the back. You want the 2 skinnier pieces, okay? And then you have a decision to make. And I know sometimes decisions are hard, especially right now during the holidays when our mind is overloaded. So go with your gut. Go with your first instinct. You can either do the back side of the paper, which in this case is hearts, and do that face up for, again, a little bit more of a traditional look, maybe muted version, less sparkly. Or you can use the sparkly side of the paper, which is what I'm going to do because, you know, I'm all about sparkle. Now, I do prefer to cut this so that everything is the pattern all matches up because I'm a little OCD. You don't have to do that. And honestly, it's hard to tell when it's put together that it even matches. If it's a really obvious pattern though, that would be a good idea. So I put it in my paper trimmer. I cut off this bit, then I cut this bit, then I cut this bit, and then I put it back together. Again, probably overkill, especially on something like this that's just kind of a generic pattern. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stick these pieces on, and if you are making the card along with me, you sure can do this, or if you're not sure which side, don't overthink it, guys. Go with your gut. It's like, okay, that looks good, I'm doing it. And then you're going to stick this on, and you want to leave about the same amount of spacing around. And I am going to explain to you in a few minutes why this is only 4 1/8, okay? We're going to go ahead and pop this on here. A little adhesive on there. There we go. And then we're going to put this in that center section. And you can do the center first if you want. I think I did that in the tutorial. It totally doesn't matter. They just all need to be stuck on. All right, and then I'll do this last bit right here. I love this paper because it's, you know, it has a lot of red tones in it, but most of the red tones are a little bit of a pinky red, which is my preference. Okay, so there we have our card base all ready. And then we haven't done our bands yet. So let's take a look at that. So now we're going to put our designer paper on these. We're going to save this for later. So in our little sleeve here, we're going to pull out this little envelope that has all of your bits. All right, we're going to keep our window plastic in there for now. If you pulled it out, that's okay. Just make sure you put it somewhere where you can see it. All I want right now are all these little squares and rectangles in the back. Let's pop those out. Now, some of my alternate versions of this card I did with, like this one right here, I did with embossing up there and embossing back here, or you can mix and match. You also could do one side up here, and when you decorate this, instead of doing the same side up, you could flip it over and do the other side of the paper. Tons of options. Probably too many options, right? I'm going to just keep it easy for Susan by putting the same pattern up, okay? And I did cut these mostly together, so they kind of sort of match up, but I had some that didn't match up, and honestly, you cannot tell once they're stuck down, okay? But if you're into puzzles and you want to try to puzzle that together, they may or may not work out for you, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and stick these on. And again, you're just going to use those score lines as your spacing. And all the dimensions for these designer papers will be in the tutorial. Those of you that placed a qualifying order for this class last month, you will be getting that tutorial via email later tonight, probably after tonight's video, right? I'll be back again tonight, guys. All right, let's pop this on. There we go. So I've got those three in place. I'm going to pop that up there and go ahead and stick these on here. All right. Pop that one on. How are we doing so far? If you're, let me know if you have a packet, if you are making this along with me, let me know in the comments, or if you're just gonna watch and do it later. I'm kind of a watch and do it later person myself, but it's hard. You set cardstock in front of me, I do want to stick it on things. Especially if it's pretty paper like this. All right. So now we've got our pop-up bands all set, all right? Pop-up bands are right there. Now we want to stick this on. So this is the part where I want you to watch and not do, because we're going to be putting tear and tape on, and it doesn't like to come off once it's on. So what I like to do is flip the card over and flip the bands over, because the tear and tape is going to be going on this side, not like I did yesterday on this side. So to hold myself in check, I turn everything upside down and lay it where it's going to be ending up. So again, our card base was 5. No, it's not, Susan. It's 4 1/8 because our finished card size is 4 1/4. To make this card work so that these bands don't buckle, you need to have them extend just a little bit beyond the edge of the card. So these extend about 1/16 of an inch on each side from the card base, which gives it that overall dimension of 4 1/4. So that's why the card base size is a little bit unusual and a little bit different. That was the hardest part for me to work out on this card, and took me quite a bit to work out this vertical version, quite a few different versions, because I was deciding on how wide I wanted those bands. All right, so I'm going to take this one. You can pull it away now that you've determined the right side, and I'm going to put my tear and tape pretty close to the end here. I prefer to not have any adhesive here because I don't want it gunking up my pop-up mechanism. And I'm going to lay another piece of tear and tape really close to that one. That might be overkill to have 2, but that's how I've done it on every card. I sure don't want these bands popping off. And you could use standard adhesive on this, but make sure it's a strong one, because the name of, and then we're going to line this right up here. The name of this fun fold card is the Floating Vertical Bandstand Pop-Up card. All right, so we've got these right here, and we're going to go to this one, and we're going to do the same thing. And in most cases, it doesn't matter which band you put on top and which one you put on bottom. Papers like this one, there is quite a bit of variance, so you might have a personal preference. But again, when you put your tear and tape on, make sure it's on the back side that does not have the paper on it, and make sure that they are as close to this outside cut edge as possible. Again, you just need 1/16 of an inch before that score line, so you should be good. All right, so we've got these all set. Now the fun begins, right? So does anybody see what Susan did? Oh, found it, found it. Take your pick tool. I need a pokey thing to pull off this backing for the tear and tape. So I'm going to pluck that off. And we're going to pluck this one off. And do the same over here. All right, and right over here. There we go. Okay, so I've got all my sticky exposed here. And I'm going to go back to my card, and I'm going to line up my card base so that it's just inside these 2 score lines right here and right here. And it's centered so that there's just a little bit of gap, the same on each side. And then I'm just going to make sure I'm lined up at the top, and then I'll fold this tab flat and fold this tab flat. Okay. So there we have the first pop-up band. Which one did I choose? Oh, I chose that one. Well, it doesn't matter because you can flip the card over if you decide, you can decide that bit later. All right, we're going to go ahead and put our other one on. So same thing. Pull off the backing pieces from your tear and tape. And flip it around over here. Jody said she's been looking for the directions for this card to try. So this is the vertical version of last month's Bandstand, and we've added a floating element to it because we can, right, friends? All right, we're going to go ahead and lay this right in the center, right there. Ugh, stuck myself to the card, not good. We're going to make sure it's lined up to the top. Make sure I've got the same amount of little bit of space on the side. It doesn't have to be exact, but just leave a little gappage on each side and you're good. And then we're going to go ahead and just fold down those tabs. And let's see if it pops. Yay, it pops. And now you can decide, oh, I want this pretty pink bit at the top, or oh, I want this pretty red bit at the top, whichever you want. All right, so now we're going to add that floating element. Mary is on deck here with the dimensions for this piece of window sheet. I left mine in my clear binder envelope so that I wouldn't lose it. I'm going to leave my little sticky note. This has our gems in it. I'm going to leave them in there too because, yeah, I lose those two all the time. All right, so I've got my window sheet here. I'm just going to pluck off any random dog hairs that are stuck to it because I have dogs. And we're going to go ahead and grab our tear and tape here. And sorry, I'm using a ring light, but it helps you see where it is, right? And we're going to put a piece of tear and tape on the front of the window plastic right near the top. And then we're going to put another piece of tear and tape on the bottom of the window plastic right near the bottom. This sheet of window plastic is 1 5/8 inches by 4. And so it is just slightly smaller than that middle part of our top band and bottom band, okay? And you can see that I made it 4 inches so that you have plenty of room to add your tear and tape. Well, you can't see because of that darn ring light. Let me tilt it this way. You see where I'm not sticking it on this way, obviously. It's going to go inside, but I'm holding it here so you can see that there is a little bit of wiggle room there for your tear and tape. And I did that on purpose so that wouldn't accidentally have that showing because that would be sticky mess. All right, and let's pop this one off. All right, so I've got some exposed sticky here, and I'm just going to go in, and I like to start with the top one and get it lined up. It's just a skosh skinnier than that width of the top middle part. So I just put it in until I've got about the same amount of spacing on each side. I realize that's really hard for you to see. And then I kind of line up the bottom and I just squish the card flat, just flatten it and press. All right, and there you've got that window sheet inside the card. Maybe if I turn it around, you can see it in there. And again, it's going to smush flat to go in that envelope. Okay. Oh, did we not give I maybe didn't give the dimensions on the bands. I might have forgotten that. Thank you, Mary. These bands are, you need 2 of them. They're 1 1/4 by 5 3/4. Scored at 3/4 inches, 2 inches, 3 3/4, and 5. Thank you, Mary. We appreciate you. All right, so now we've got our, we're ready for the fun part, right? All right, so what do we got here? Let's bring out the goodies. So this little sleeve, it's a baseball card holding sleeve, and it's got your banner. Now this banner is from the Peaceful Season dies. When I designed this card, I tried to choose Stampin' Up! Products that were carrying over so that, you know, if you wanted to pick them up after making your card, it would be available. And this, it was actually supposed to be on the retired list and initially got left off. So it is retiring. I just wanted to make that clear. It is a last chance product. These awesome dies. I love them. And then we have 2 hearts. And these are from the Hearts of Elegance dies, which is and this is the Marbled Elegance designer paper. So we've got our hearts here. This one has those fun little dotted leaves in that, and this one has a dotted outline. So we're gonna pop these on. Now I did not pop this heart up. You certainly can if you want, but I'm popping up both of these elements, so I decided to stick this one on flat. You can use adhesive. I'm gonna use glue dots. Just because I feel like they give me a little more control of where I'm putting my sticky, and they do stick really, really well. So I'm going to put a couple of glue dots in here. One more right here. Oh, come here, you. One more right here in the middle. So I am only putting the adhesive in the middle of the card, because part of the in the middle of the heart, because part of the edges of the heart are going to hang over the window sheet, and if I had sticky on them, I would stick my card closed and it's not going to pop up, right? So just be mindful of where you're putting your sticky stuff. All right, and then we're going to press that down. Now we have this little gold heart here, and we're going to flip it over and put a dimensional on the back of that. If you prefer not to pop it up, that's totally fine. I'm all about the pop-ups. So we're going to pull that dimensional off, and that one is going to go right in the center of our white heart. Okay. And then we have our banner, and our banner is going to go right across the hearts as well and be attached. So before I do that, I want to stamp a sentiment on mine. I am actually using a sentiment from the Unbounded Love stamp set, which may or may not be somewhere in this disaster. I'm sure it's here. Oh, here it is. Found it. I tell ya. This is the Unbounded Love stamp set, and I am using the one that says, "You are loved." And because my paper, this paper actually has both pink elements and red elements in it, but to me it's mostly red, so I'm going to go with real red ink. Now, if your packet had this pattern, you're going to want to maybe use Melon Mambo ink. And I did want to just point out that this is what the pink one would look like if you decided to flip your paper over. It's got pretty roses on the other side. So I picked patterns that I thought had fun. The other side would make a pretty card too. So let's go ahead and find our ink, which Susan did not get out. All right, I got it now. And we're going to just stamp that right on there. Okay. All right, you are loved, and that is going to go right on here. Okay, now we're going to add some sequins. You can add them now, you can add them after you put it on, it doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and pop it on first and then stick them on, but I lost my dimension. Oh, found them, here they are. Oh, I can lose anything, seriously. So what I chose to do was actually put 2 dimensionals in the middle. One would probably be enough, but this is quite a long banner, so I went with 2. But I did squish them together in the middle because I didn't want, I wanted to make sure that the sticky part would be within the gold heart. Okay, so then I just lined it up with the center of the heart and kind of centered the banner on this ribbon bit right between the big heart there. Okay. Now we can add our sequins, or we can flip it over first and do the back side. I'm going to do the back side. So let's bring in these 2 other pieces that we have. These are slightly wider than the ones on the front. And I got something on my card, but you know what? This doesn't matter because I'm covering that up. So I love to put a little bit of fun on the inside of the card. And this one, it's even more fun because the inside of the card is actually the back of the card. So I want it to look good from all sides, right? So I put that on there mostly straight. So when I'm sticking this on, I'm lining it up almost with that score line there on this side. I'm just almost butting up to that and leaving a little bit of space here. You can do it however it looks best to you, your choice. But that's my favorite way to do it. And then we're going to get our other 2 pieces of paper that were in your pack. This is for our inside sentiment, which on this card will be on the back. And so you can go ahead and adhere. Now again, if your pattern was mostly pink, you have a Melon Mambo piece. If you have the pattern that's more red, you've got this real red piece like I do. You can go ahead and stick this on and then put this on, or you can layer them together first. Either way, for this one, I'm going to use, from the Hearts of Elegance. Some of the cards I did Happy Valentine's Day, which just fits on this part. And some of them I put Sending Lots of Love. I'm going to do Sending Lots of Love on this one. Although I have a feeling it's in pink ink. So, oops. Let me just... Oh, I think I washed it. It's clean. Okay, good. Phew. I stamped it on a scrap paper. That's kind of lazy way to clean off a stamp, right? And then we're just going to go ahead and stamp this there. And stick this on, and then we'll flip it around and put our sequins on, and our card is all done. And I will show you how it fits in an envelope, because I always get questions, wait, does this fit in an envelope? And that is one of my criteria. It has to fit in the Stampin' Up! Standard envelopes. All right. Get this centered, sort of. All right, there we go. And then we're going to stick that right on there. I do like to layer a little bit of colored cardstock under it because I think it adds a nice little contrast there. But if you didn't want to do that, you absolutely could just stamp directly on here. You might want to do that before you put all the lumpy stuff on the front though. But I do think layering gives your card a more professional look, a little more finished maybe. All right, we don't want to make it too professional because then they won't know you made it for them special. All right, let's add our sequins. So we're going to grab our little clear envelope here. We're going to pull out this sticky note and open it up. And you either have too big or too small. These are the, they're right over here. They're Neutrals adhesive back sequins, I think. Oh, I got it right. Yes, Neutrals adhesive back sequins. We're using the gold. It also comes with like a bronze, a copper, and the white. All great. I use these for a lot of stuff, as you guys know. So my packet has small ones. Come here, you. Oh, I've stuck it to my desk. Well, good job, Sue. It goes on the card. And I like to stick it out here at the end of the ribbon banner. Now that those Peaceful Season dies has a this longer banner. There's also a shorter ribbon banner. Really cool die set. But sadly, they are going away. So you can see here on this one, I had the bigger sequins. They both look good, right? Both look good. All right, let's grab our envelope. And, oh, gosh, I wiggled the camera. Sorry about that. And then I'm just going to smush it flat and slide it in the envelope so that I can send it off to a friend who needs a little love, right? So there we go. All right, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a quick recap. And again, a shout out to Louise at Iced In Images. Her original half hexagonal pop-up cards inspired both this month's Crafternoon Fun Fold, which is the floating vertical bandstand card, and last month's Crafternoon, which is the bandstand pop-up card. So here is all the versions. Of course, we have all the different patterns of the Hearts of Elegance and the different ways to do it. All the information for all of these cards will be in the tutorial. This is the celebration one coming up here. This card is so hard to photograph. You just don't get how gorgeous it is unless you're in person, and it is absolutely stunning. And then we have our butterflies flying in here with their floating elements on the Bloom Impressions designer paper. You can double stack the butterflies for a 3D image, or you can split them out so that they are flying off in different directions. And again, more patterns of paper used for that. And all the things. Okay, and then we gotta make more room here, Sue. I love this one. This is the Delightful Wishes suite from the upcoming mini catalog with our sweet little vellum flower. So easy, you just die cut it right out of the vellum. I love it. And I love how the words are a really good thing to have float on a card, I think. Right? It's kind of fun to float. Now, what other things would be fun to float on your card? Like a balloon, that would be a fun thing to have float. Maybe a hot air balloon too would also be cool. Bees would be cute. This one is, of course, our terrific Toadstools bundle. This is a punch bundle that's in the upcoming catalog starting on January 7th. And the designer paperback here is the terrific Toadstools Designer Series paper, which is one of the free celebration choices starting on January 7th. Right, so many possibilities. You guys are so creative, and I can't wait to see what you do with this fun card. And yeah, Louise, you're right. It's a great way to use up those little annoying leftover bits of cards of just pretty paper that we hoard because we can't possibly throw it away. Although it's also really fun to add in an embossed element on these cards. So you can do just some embossed and some paper, or you can do all embossed or all paper. So many choices and options. So I'm going to flip. Let's see if I can figure it out. Here we go. There I am. Hello. Thank you again for making and sending handmade cards. You are absolutely making the world a kinder place with every card that you send. I appreciate you so much. You're doing so much good out there in the world. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I will be back tonight at 7:30 Central Time for another creative video. The tutorial for the floating vertical bandstand pop-up card will be available on my website, suestampfield.com, in about 30 minutes. So I'll be back with you later tonight. Take care, friends. Thanks for hanging out with me. I always have fun with you. Take care, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.